Hey, welcome everybody. I have a very special guest joining us here today. My client, John Evola, who's lost 35 pounds and he went from an out of shape dad bod to being a super dad for himself and his family. So, John, thank you so much for joining me here today, man.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Arslan. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I'd love to get started in this way. Why don't you share with everybody a little bit more about who you are and give everyone some context?
Yeah, sure. So I think you said it best. My first, if I had to define myself, everyone would say just a dad overall, just like a normal dad, like everyone else out there, trying to have two kids, wonderful wife, work in a corporate setting. I'm an HR director for a children's publishing company. Um, and I started my journey with Arslan. I'm on Facebook, so I kept seeing all his videos, was really entertaining, thought he was great. Sorry, got disconnected for a moment. I was getting my parents calling me, so this is a real raw, authentic video.
Yes, sir.
So kept seeing the videos, really thought he was great, charismatic, and we both went to Severian together. So originally from Brooklyn, and seeing some of these videos just resonate for me. Always, but used to be in shape. Then things happen, I guess, as dads get older, and as men get older. Anytime after 40, everything you eat kind of stays with you a little bit more. The workouts don't seem to be as strong for you. So I was always thinking about getting someone to help me out through this process. And I was talking to my wife about it for some time. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to get to learn a little bit more about Arslan. It's just the way he goes about it just resonates with me. And next thing you know, I had a great conversation with you and just decided it was the right path for me to take at that time. And we could go into more detail with it, but the place I was in, I was just tired of being tired. The best way to describe it. It's had some health issues, starting to go down that path of just being lethargic, not being energetic. Wanted to be more in shape for me, better version of myself is the best way to kind of put it. And that's what I kind of was striving towards, and just had enough of it and wanted to get reestablish myself.
I love that, man. And could you share with everyone where you were weight wise when we started and where you are weight wise now?
Yeah. So I started off, I was probably the heaviest I think I've ever been, which is 219 and a half. I will say it a half too. So it's pretty heavy. And you kind of creep there. It isn't a moment where all of a sudden you just get to that weight, or it just happens. So especially with COVID, it just seems like I was losing and then gaining, losing and then gaining. And then we just kind of stabilized at that weight. And then now I just recently was at 184 and a half. So excited to be at 35 pounds less. And I really, really thank Arslan for everything that you've done. It's been a great journey that you put me through.
Absolutely. And I know that we got started in November. And around that time, you had some concerns about starting because you were having your kitchen redone.
Yeah.
Could you share a little bit about what nudged you to getting started in a seemingly off time or not the right time?
Yeah. That was the biggest thing I think that was a barrier for me, where it was, like you said, there was some renovation that's going on in my home. And I was thinking, is this going to be the best time for me to actually do this? I talked about it with my wife and just thinking about it. And then something hit me where I don't want to procrastinate any longer. I just felt like I needed to get it done. And there's always going to be barriers. There's always going to be obstacles that come up. And it's just, you have to make a decision and you have to think about it and saying, is this something that I could strive toward and something that I really want to do? And if I want to do it, I'm not going to have anything get in my way or any obstacle kind of stop me from getting there. So that's what happened for me. It exactly was the beginning of November. So I started thinking about my renovation that needs to happen. Then I started thinking about, well, Thanksgiving is coming up. I don't know if I want to do it during Thanksgiving and the holidays. So let's think about that. And then it just, all of these thoughts or everything that comes up in your head of saying, well, now's not the right time, or it's going to be too hard. Let's just wait. And just, there has to be a point where you say enough is enough, and I'm just going to make this change for myself
I love
and
that.
for my
And
family.
yeah, absolutely. You know, as I was mentioning initially, this is something that you not only did for yourself, but also for your family as well. And what are some things that you tried in the past, like that did not work at all, or just
Yeah.
didn't really stick in the past?
I tried a number of things. I remember even growing up when I was on my first diet, because I was always in waves. It would just be not eating for a certain time frame. I guess is a different version of intermittent fasting, where just eliminating a lunch or having just an apple for lunch or something silly like that. That was one method that I kind of brought myself down and then went right back up. I also went into a different thing for Shakeology. Did that with my wife for a little bit, which some of their workouts and stuff are great. It made me peak right back up. And then there were a few other. I don't even know what they were called, but there were these compartments that you put in, like food and amount of food within these compartments that just make it the right size for you to eat. That lasted for a little while. Again, I was always okay and able to drop a bit. And then before long, I just went right back up and even higher than I was before.
Wow. So obviously with this program, you've not only lost the weight, but we've been stabilized for quite some time now. What would you say has been different with this program?
Yeah, I would say a few different things. First is the education that you provide. So it's like you say throughout, you want to make sure it's a lifestyle change, and it's something that you are not doing it just for a quick fix. It's actually something that you can incorporate for your rest of your life. So education, knowing what makes sense, what are different methods that you should be looking at, why the weight for men over 40 changes, and what's the difference. So all of that information that you share, I think, is essential, as it helped me tremendously throughout my process. Second thing I would say is I'm a type of person who I like, if you give me a roadmap, I'll follow it, right? So that really appealed to me when I spoke to you, and you were able to provide for me exactly, especially early on, what were some of the ideal foods I should be looking at, and how do I incorporate that within my schedule of work, which could be crazy at times, and not knowing exactly how to change some of my diet. And what do I do in circumstances where it's not less than ideal, I should say. You came up with some great strategies and helped me work through that. And then thirdly, I would say is the flexibility that you provide too. So having that roadmap, but being real and knowing things are always going to happen. So how do you kind of get past that, whether you're at a restaurant? And I love the fact that I feel like we were joking around beforehand. Ruslan is like a family member of ours now. I see his video all the time. We're at the kitchen table. But if I'm at a restaurant and some of the meals may not look ideal for me, I can text Ruslan a picture of the menu, and he'll say, yeah, John, you can pick this, try to stay away from that. But most of the time, what you really say is enjoy. Do what these two look great, but have a great time. And I think that's a big part of what you've provided for me. It's just knowing it's really not a one meal thing. It's a lifestyle change that you have to go throughout.
I love that. And thank you. I'm flattered again, and I'm honored that on my house. That's not the first time I've heard that. I'm around the kitchen. There's actually the person that you found me through, Deacon Mac. If he's watching, shout out to him. He actually just got a new position as the superintendent. He has a drinking game in his household where every time he mentions my name, his daughters take a shot. So it's not the first time I heard that. It's cool.
That could be very dangerous if that was in this house. I'll tell you that.
Right. And John, what would you say? Obviously, you've had this tremendous external change, losing the 35 pounds, probably more because you've gained muscle as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've had this external change. And was there an internal change that went along with that, a transformation internally? And if so, could you maybe speak about that as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I mean, internally, you absolutely, there's a level of confidence that exudes when you feel better about yourself, right? Whether it's a presence of you going into work and going into meetings and having that confidence, or whether you're going out to dinner with your wife and feeling confident about the way you feel about yourself. I think that automatically gives you that end of it, is the confidence side of it. But I think another aspect is also knowing how you're doing things that help you and your family for health reasons too, right? So I think that's a major part of it that also internally was a big factor for me. There were points in my thought process that really made me look into this program, was the fact that, you know, there were some chronic conditions that my family has had in the past that I wanted to make sure that I didn't go down that path for health reasons. But also, we start creeping into high blood pressure as you getting more weight keeps getting on for you. So there are a number of things that I just needed to change in my life, and saying that this isn't a good thing for me, and it's not a good thing for my family, and I want to be able to change it. And I think having that confidence to now say that we're in a good place and we're stabilizing and feeling a ton of confidence based on everything that we've been able to work through together. It's a great feeling. So I thank you again.
Of course, man. You're very kind, man. That's awesome. Could you talk about that a little bit in regards to the positive ripple effects and impact that this has had on, you have a beautiful family. I'd love to hear about that, maybe with your children or just with your family in general.
Yeah, I think it goes a lot with your relationship that you have with food, right? We're Italian, so food is everywhere around us. So we have a lot of celebrations that food, wherever we go, it's just the way we break bread, right? So I think what it does, it also teaches me as well as my family that relationship that you have to have with food in order to not have it really take over you. Whether it's with anxiety, whether it's with stress. So often whenever I was having a rough day at work, first thing I would do without even realizing is walk to the fridge and start making a bowl of something, or having something to drink, that like lemonade or sugary drink or whatever. And knowing that that wasn't trying to be my escape, rather than the way that I know I look at food now is really more of an energy source and a something that I shouldn't be afraid of or running to when I have an issue, but more of how do I build that closer relationship with food to power me to get to where I need to go, rather than the other way around. So having that and showing that with my my two boys and my wife, I think is an important aspect of, because it does change who you are in many ways, right? Where you're not just going out or having family members and really just so concerned about the food that instead of the people in the company that you're with. So I think it's a change of mindset that you have as well.
Wow. So, I mean, it sounds like you've gained all these benefits with the program, the knowledge, the relationship with food. What almost stopped you from joining the program and foregoing everything we've been talking about?
Yeah, and I said it was a lot of that negativity that just hangs over you whenever you make a decision. It was either the timing, like I said, it was either the timing and always there was a point though, as I said, it was probably one of the heaviest weights that I've had in my life. Trying to think if I ever was heavier. I don't think I was, but it's just that point where you just say enough is enough. And there were so many things that we could have made an easy way of saying, let's start this in January after the holidays, or let's do it after the renovation, which if anyone's going through a renovation now, you probably could feel my pain, because it was a bit over a month and a half, but things got delayed, and things are always a little slower than you expect them to be. If we would have ordered our original oven, we still wouldn't have gotten it. Stuff like that just happens, right? So if I would have waited for that, you probably, Ursula, and I might have signed up now for you, if you want to think of it that way. So, and think about how much of an impact, a positive impact, everything this program has had for me. I'm so grateful and so blessed to say that, and just can't imagine not being part of this program. So it's really been a blessing for me to be involved and really find you. I don't know how I was able to kind of be lucky enough to see the feed and kind of get involved in it, but I'm so grateful that I did.
That's awesome, man. And the feeling is mutual, John. And why did you feel like you needed a coach in your corner? Because you've lost weight on your own in the past. You know, obviously you've gained it back. Why did you feel like you needed something different this time?
Yeah, I think, and I would venture to say probably most men that are in the program might feel this way. There's a certain point in your life where it just becomes a lot more difficult to lose the weight, right? Where it's not just one meal, or it's not just, you just get more lethargic and maybe get set in your habits. So I had said to you, Ursula, and I always like going to the gym. So and I still go to the gym. And I think we haven't really touched upon the program, not only the eating habits that you put into your program, but also the fast hit and the workouts that you have really helped me out tremendously, because it really is a reset. So everything that you may have kind of thought was the right way for you to go, you needed to re-educate yourself. So there are so many different programs out there of saying what's good for you, what's not good for you. This is really the best weight loss program for you to have, whether it's intermittent fasting we always used to look at, whether it's other programs that are there, whatever it may be. They seem like they're fads, right? Where they're moments in time that may work for you, but then not far thereafter, you're right back where you started. What really appealed to me when I signed up for you is you really had a program to say, not only when you get to your weight, but how do you stabilize and continue to go down the road so that you're not back where you started a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. That's not the goal. Our goal is to get where you need to be, and then also think of ways to stabilize and continue down that path for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And could you talk a bit about that now that we've begun a little bit getting into that phase?
Yeah.
That metabolic reversal method?
Yep. So we actually started, there was going back through that roadmap that I talked about earlier. There was a roadmap that you put me on initially that had to deal with a specific diet of what needs to get done, specific amount of protein we're looking at and carbs and whatnot. And it really was a macros ratio that you talk about quite a bit. So that helped out. And then knowing when you get to a certain point, how do we reverse some of that or introduce new foods back into it, so it isn't something that your body is kind of starving or craving for, right? Is the best way I think that you probably have explained it to me in many ways. And I'm not doing it justice with all the terminology that you use. I'm not there yet, but I forgot what the reverse metabolism, what you had called it. I forget, what was that recently?
Yeah, right. The metabolic reversal method, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself, it's just trying to make sure that your body is not starving and you're not constantly on a diet, right? So you're not thinking, your body doesn't believe that it's that you're going down a path that is it's craving anything. Yeah. So the point of what you had done for me is we evaluated and realigned what we need to do to, now that we've gotten to a weight that we're comfortable with, how do we build up that strength, change that composition for your body, and keep that going for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because like I was saying, you can't stay in a calorie deficit forever.
Right.
You got to come back to maintenance, and that's
Right.
the process of doing so. And John, what would you say has been like your favorite part of the program? We've touched on quite a few things. What's been your favorite part so far?
There's been a lot of different parts. I will say, I don't know if I have a favorite. I would say there's a lot of amazing parts about your program. Number one is about the roadmap for the diet that you provide. Number two, it's the workouts that you provide for us, both in the gym as well as the fast hit. I think that has been tremendous for me. The other thing that really has been helpful is really watching your videos and being educated with that throughout. So it's not just here's a program and have a great time with it. There's a constant education that you need to have that has been really helpful as well. And also seeing, as silly as this may be for me, it also gave me a lot of support of seeing when you post others within the group and those members that are doing well as well. That also gives me motivation to know that our members and the community that we're with, because I do see it as a community that we've all partnered with now, as being successful and all the help that you've done to try to impact everyone's lives. So that is also one of the things I think that we strive for. When we see someone else that has dropped 20 or 30 or 40 and really changing their life because of you, I think that helps me as well get motivated.
I love that. It's like a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And John, what would you say to somebody that might be on the fence, maybe even a previous version of yourself 6 months from now, about moving forward with the program?
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is don't procrastinate. If you have something, if you have a goal, go for it. Make it a better version for yourself. Make yourself a better version of yourself. And I think in one of your videos, you had even talked about this, of saying what you want your new version to look like. Picture it in your head, and that's what you want to strive for. And that's what you should have as your goal. Don't make another day go by without saying you want this version to be who you are today. So I think that's a good part. And what I keep thinking, if I had to go back and tell anyone who's procrastinating or thinking about it, I would 100% tell them that just go for it and make it make yourself the better person that you want to be.
I love that. It really aligns with the decision-making process I kind of went through in Nashville when I signed up for my Mentors Elite coaching program. I said, what would a future version of Erslan that's already there do right now? Like, he'd go for it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so very much in alignment. I love that. And any parting words of wisdom that you would like to leave everyone off with?
No, I think the biggest thing is just to say I'm grateful, and I thank you for being a part of this program. And if anyone has thoughts about potentially signing on for a program, not knowing where to go, and if they need someone who has education, wants a roadmap about nutrition, as well as a way to really help them with exercise, I think this is a great program and highly recommend it to everyone. I said this to Erslan. I talk about it to everyone. I just stopped talking in the street and bring it up. I just talked about it with my doctor recently.
You just talked to a random person on the street about it.
Yeah, everyone.
Wait, I gotta tell you about this program.
This program's great. I'm telling you, if a neighbor talks to me and because you'll notice a significant difference when you see someone drop 30 pounds. It's not a bit. So it's an easy conversation starter. And I just tell everyone about the program, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time tonight on this Thursday evening. I hope that everyone watching found this valuable. If you did, there are a couple of ways that you can help. One is you can like or heart this video. And two is you can share this with a family member, a friend, somebody that you believe would also find some value from it. So, John, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you in our next video.